right, folks. Hope you're doing good on this beautiful day here in Northeast Tennessee. It is a beautiful day. Any day and every day is a beautiful day in Northeast Tennessee. Sorry, folks, it is. It could be pouring down rain, thunderstorming, wind blowing, and all of that, but it's still beautiful to me. Anyway, folks, so thankful to be here, but I am on I-75 headed south. I am in Knoxville right here in West Hills West Hills area. I guess that's where I'm at. I think that's where I'm at. But fighting these modular homes, have been fighting them since I got on the freeway, although they do really good. I'm not complaining. They do really good. They just take up, a lot of space, 16 feet wide. And but they do good. They do good, man. They didn't, they use their brain. And this is Clayton Homes. they make a good home, but they do good. I mean, they don't take off in rush hour. Although these folks there have been a ton of them on the road, so today must be the day they're moving them. But they didn't leave at rush hour. They waited till about 9 o'clock, rush hour over, and then they took off. And I'm thankful for that. But anyway, folks, so yeah, I got to go down to Atlanta, pick up a trailer, some cabinets, do a couple of other things, and then try to head on back. You know how plans are, yeah. And sometimes plans just don't work out. And anyway, so headed to Atlanta, and I don't want to, but it seems like the day to do it. We do have company in. But they are all busy today, at least supposed to be. And so I thought, well, hey, I told the wife last night, I said, hey, if you guys are doing this and they're doing that and blah, 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 I'm going to go ahead and get this done. It's going to be the perfect day for me to do it if you guys are going to be busy. Anyway, you don't want to hear all that, folks. But anyway, folks, so yes, Northeast Tennessee is not for everyone. It is for me, but it's not for everyone, and that's for sure. Now, Northeast Tennessee is a beautiful place. I love it. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else. And a lot of other folks feel the same way. It's not for everyone, but there are a lot of people moving here to Northeast Tennessee, and it's because of the way of thinking, the way of life, the freedoms, the ruralness of it, the countryness of it. Some folks love that hillbilly mountain life, and some folks frown on it. And there are a lot of folks moving here. I had a buddy of mine tell me that he was doing a job for a lady that just moved here from Colorado. He's a grader, an excavator, and he's going to be clearing 2 home sites on one piece of property for her and another family member. And Colorado, folks. And then a buddy of mine who also lives up here in the town where we live, he was telling me how it was crazy how people were flocking here, which was causing the prices to skyrocket. But he said they are coming from all over. And he said just had a fella bought 30-something acres from Oregon. And he said, wow, why are you moving here from Oregon? And he said he just loves it here. And so, yeah, Tennessee is not for everyone, but it is for some folks. And I'm one of those folks. He is also telling me about other folks moving here from here and there and everywhere. And one thing's for sure, a lot of folks move here, especially up there around Norris Lake where we're at. A lot of folks have moved from Ohio and Michigan to there. There are literally whole subdivisions of people from Michigan or Ohio, and they're all around there. And so, yes, folks, which is causing the price of land to skyrocket, houses, to skyrocket. Now, where we're at there in Campbell County, it used to be one of the poorest counties in Tennessee. It was a very depressed area. And I guess it had a lot to do with the coal industry. I don't know. And it still is very poor. the town in certain areas, certain parts, but it is coming out of that rapidly and changing, and it is because of the people that have moved there, and it's kind of changing things, and it's changing it for the better. It is, it really is. And I know some of the locals hate to see people from other states moving there, but it does help the economy, and it has helped pull Campbell County out of that economically depressed state. And it is a beautiful county with the lake and all. Oh my, and it is attracting folks from far and wide. But it is not for everyone, and I forget that. I get in my bubble there and love it. I love my life, folks. And I get in my little bubble, and I don't, I forget that it is not for everyone. And, some things are unsightly for folks. Some folks don't like to see certain things. Now, Campbell County, Tennessee is not heaven on earth, but it does look like it is. And, we just love it there. But, some folks, they don't like seeing the camper on the side of the mountain with 2-room additions on it. That's been there for 40 years and somewhat ran down. Junky cars out in the yard. They don't like seeing that, but see, that doesn't bother me. I understand that is what it's freedom. It's freedom, folks, and folks are free to do that there. And like I'm free to do exactly what I want on my land there, then folks are free to do what they want on their land. And I respect that. And hey, if that's how they want it, then that's how they should have it. And but some folks don't like that. And I understand that. It's okay. And some folks don't want to see hillbillies, The fella last night, there where we were eating, he had overalls on, and he was making sure that you had reservations. He had overalls on, and he had a lot of missing teeth and a hat on, and he was just an old country man, a country boy, and a hillbilly. Yeah, I love hillbillies, folks. I'm a hillbilly myself. But, I loved it. I told the wife, I said, I love it. And, some folks wouldn't like that. They just wouldn't. Where's the guy's teeth? He needs to go to the dentist. It's his mouth. If he doesn't want to go to the dentist, he doesn't need to go. All right? But, it's not for everyone, but it's for Mike. It's for me. And, happy to be there. Love Northeast Tennessee, and so thankful that we have common sense. A lot of folks that are flocking there, they just have common sense, and they see and understand that the world's not getting any better in any aspect. It's getting worse. We're at weather, climate, whatever, politics and blah blah blah, economics and inflation, and we can go on forever. Not getting any better, getting worse. And so, they're wanting a more sustainable, self-reliant, independent, freer, maybe even safer life. Safe from the masses. When you get around the hordes of people, you're always less safe. And so, I believe a lot of folks see this and understand this, and that is why they are flocking to Northeast Tennessee, and we love it there. But it may not be for some folks, it may not be for you. And it could be a culture shock, and that is for sure. And although I've been around there for 30 years in and out and coming and going and this and that, because I did not live there, when we finally moved there full time, it was a culture shock, even to me, a hillbilly. The kind of life I've lived, folks, you've seen my house there in Georgia, the house I used to live in. Of course, I cleaned it all up so we could sell it, but I literally lived in a junkyard and got in trouble for it. My neighbors called the county on me, although all my stuff was in the back. They still thought it was unsightly. But it was me. It was my house. It was my home. It was my stuff. And even though I lived like I did, it was still a culture shock when I moved here. But let me tell you this, folks. There are some negatives here in Northeast Tennessee, but the positives vastly outweigh the negatives for us. Vastly outweigh the negatives. And I can't say that for Georgia anymore. And so, well, that's why we're here. But, yeah, folks, and you've seen the way I live, and it was still a culture shock to me when I got here. Just because I'm not used to things. I'm not used to seeing this house over there and that house over there and these people, and not used to hearing folks talk, how they talk here, because they talk a little different here than they do in Georgia. Not used to walking into the stores. They got a store, it's called Weagles. And I think that's how you pronounce it, Weagles. Well, I'm not used to Weagles. I'm used to Quick Tripper or Speedway or something, Just, it's a very nice store, awesome store, but just not used to it. And so, wasn't used to the Walmart here. So everything in the Lowe's was not used to the Lowe's here. And I'm a Home Depot guy. And so, everything was strange to me. Although I've been around here forever. In and out, off and on. Everything was strange to me. So it was a culture shock. And, I got a little uncomfortable there for a minute. But it was okay. It was okay. I knew it was going to be okay. But now I'm used to it. Now, when I head back to Georgia, things are a little strange. A little uncomfortable here and there. And so, I had a fellow when I moved up here. I said, what about this and what about that? And he was like, oh, don't worry about it. He said, you'll get used to it. He was from Michigan, or he is from Michigan. You'll get used to it. It'll become just nothing. And he was right. And so here we are, folks. But so a lot of times, like you come to Northeast Tennessee and you say it's not for you, and it may not be for you, but it is absolutely not for some folks. But sometimes it just takes some getting used to. It's a culture shock. You're not used to it because, we get used to our surroundings, and so we go somewhere else, and although it's really not a whole lot different from where we came from, just a little bit different, we're not used to it, and so it's strange to us, makes us uncomfortable, and a little bit of a culture shock there, and so see, in Georgia I forgot some things, or I just got used to it. I didn't forget it. Just got used to how things were. Maybe see trash here and there. I remember a buddy of mine told me, he said, man, I ain't never seen, who lived in Georgia, he said, I never realized how much trash was on the side of the road and how trashy things were in Georgia until I went somewhere else. I forget where he went, maybe out west. He said, and I came back home, he said, and I noticed trash everywhere. He said, I never noticed it before. And see, and so that's how that is. You just don't notice. And he said Georgia was the trashiest place he had ever seen, and he lived there. And so anyway, it's just all in what you're used to. All in what you're used to. But Northeast Tennessee is not for everyone, that's for sure. And so we welcome all. But folks, if it is not for you, then don't move there, because we don't want you to try to change it. Stay where you are, or move somewhere else. So I want to encourage you to find a place that suits you. Don't try to change it. Find a place that suits you, that is already changed to what you like, Don't move here in these mountains and try to change everything. That's crazy. I think it was the governor, I ain't really sure, but I think it was the governor of Idaho that had a message for the California folks and told them, he said, you're welcome here, we love you, and you're welcome to come here, but let me tell you something, you're not welcome here if you're going to try to change it. And that's that. But anyway, folks, pretty much it, folks. Just wanted to give you some words of encouragement as I travel, and find you a place that suits you, and it's already changed. Don't try to change it. And surely, I mean, don't come to Northeast Tennessee and yeah, complain and try to change things. If you're moving here now, it's one thing. If you're visiting, complain all you want, but don't move here and try to change things, because we don't want that. And I'm not even from here, but I've owned property here for decades, and so this is my home now. And so, yeah, I don't want you trying to change things. And you know, folks coming from New York and California and wherever, and yeah, you know, stay there. Move if you're going. If you're fleeing California, go to Colorado. Don't come here. Try to change us here. We love how things are here. That's why we moved here. Anyway, the Clayton Homes, man, they are all over this freeway today, wreaking havoc. You just can't hardly get them to take one lane. Anyway, all right, folks, we'll see you.